In this video, I'm going to show you how to conduct a brief research for your final project. In this discussion board, it shows you how to do that assignment. Remember, the final project is for demonstrating your skills and knowledge that you have learned from the course. And this is not actually about business, and we are just borrowing the concepts and some materials of business planning to demonstrate your computer skills. So your business plan is not necessarily going to be based on solid research from the beginning to the end. However, I would like to introduce you some skills and tools to do some research should you do a real business plan later on. So we are going to do actual research just for this week, for this discussion board, and after that you will be basically free to use some data that you generate. You don't have to get the data from the actual source or databases and things like that. But for this particular discussion board assignment, which is about learning how to do research and getting the data and information for your business plan. And for that, we are going to use the library. Library is in a way a kind of portal for valuable and reputable data and information. Unlike any given website, the resources that you find through library are mostly peer checked and validated, so they are more reputable for your business plan. So that's why we are using the library as a portal. And using and learning how to use the library system, especially the online library, could be challenging. But we do have help, such as Ask a Librarian page. This is Seattle Central Library, and you can call, you can email, or you can do chat. And when you send email and chat text, be sure to include all the necessary information that the librarian would need, such as a topic of your research, what you have been trying to do, what kind of needs, assistance that you would need, and so on. So just try to be as detailed as possible, and that'll speed up the librarian's assistance for you. And feel free to use this service. And let me go back here. I'm going to close this. And then, okay, what to be expected? So I would show you how to orient yourself in the library system. So this is the first step, is basically learning how to use the library system. And you're going to walk through, and it may take you probably about half an hour or maybe longer, and actual research could take about 45 minutes minimum, and it could take longer depending on how much experience that you have so far in terms of conducting research on libraries. So it could take a 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, even more, even longer. So be prepared for that. Okay, and then what I'm expecting you to submit are those 3 items. So first, I want you to find an ebook that such including the title and publisher and author and brief description of the ebook that you find. And then I want you to find some kind of a article, and that's based on journals or periodicals, using the database search. Okay, don't be confused with the database here with the Access database. Database here is basically a container for holding a number of journals and periodicals, and you're going to be searching for certain journals and periodicals. And the advantage of using this is that most of these journals and periodicals that you find from the library databases, they already have gone through some sort of peer review. Unlike, for example, a website, for example, I could come up any idea or data that I could just come up with, and I can post it. And should you use that for your research, your results will be bad. However, if I need to publish something through a journal, association journal, or any kind of a reputable publications, and so on, I need to go through peer review by the experts in that topic, so that they will say, yeah, what you wrote is good, that is reasonable, and it checks out. So basically, okay. So that's why I like you to use some information and data from the journals and periodicals. And then in between, while you're doing this ebook and journal research, I want you to look for some kind of data. So data could come in a table, just like an Excel data table, or it could come in just plain sentence or paragraph showing some kind of a trend or numbers of anything that is related to your business plan. So those are 3 items. And for example, here is one example what data could mean. So let me use USA Today snapshots. And if I don't know if you have seen USA Today, usually they on the first page, the front page, they have some kind of like a chart. It could be just a random thing. Somehow it's not working here, but anyway, okay, I can show you this. For example, okay, here's a question, quick question. Where do you spend the most raising a child? Okay, let's say food. That's my vote. And then that's the result of the votes from the readers. So I may be able to use this as data for representing my business plan. Okay, you can say according to USA Today snapshot, 24% of the response said, they spend most money on food. You can use that. But of course, you can find something more meaningful or reputable data as you do, as you conduct the research on ebooks and electronic articles and journals. By the way, I don't expect you to read the entire chapter or book of the ebook or even read the whole journal. So basically I want you to learn how to locate them and find certain key information that you need. That's the main goal of this exercise, not actual research. Again, this is not a business class, this is a computer class, and we are learning how to use this electronic digital resources. That's the main goal here. And then each time you find an ebook or a journal, record these items, okay? And I recommend you copy and paste those information onto a Microsoft Word or Excel, depending on what application you want to use, so that you have a record of all the things that you do. And a lot of database catalogs and library catalogs and databases, they do give you some option to record what you looked and searched for, and that's good. So utilize those options. But ultimately, you want to have some kind of centralized record of all the findings that you have done. So you can, if you need to go back fairly easily. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is how to learn library resources, how to learn to use library resources. So first, let's say go to information, research instructions, and so on. This is a IRIS site, and it shows you how to use the library system and how to conduct a research. So for example, I go down to first, and this is some kind of a concept that research is some kind of a jigsaw puzzle that are linked to each other. So from the defining the task, so what am I looking for? And then identify options. Okay, I'll look for ebooks because I'm not going to go down to the library, physical library, and find a paper book. And then select the resources. Okay, I can use a Seattle Central Community College library or King County or Seattle Library System. Analyze the contents. I read it, and then judge whether that I'm going to use it or not. Maybe use it or not, and so on. And then present the finding, and then you go through the cycle. And as you go through the cycle, you evaluate, such as, okay, this is a good idea to use just online ebook options, or do I really should I really go to the actual library building and talk to the librarians and so on. So it goes through the step by step, and then you can go through that, and I strongly recommend you to at least skim through it. Okay, the next one, info centers. So there are different choices, such as libraries and public libraries and specialty libraries. By the way, a lot of corporations and institutions have their own libraries. So for example, Cancer Research Alliance, for example, they have their own library specialized in cancer research. And then they also have a staff librarians who are who have much more experience in medical field. So, those options are available for some of us, for sometimes. Okay, the research team, again, these are the very easy, simple things to read. Again, you don't have to, understand everything that he talks about, but I want you to at least skim through it, and perhaps you can find some invaluable information here. And I want you to go through this. Let's see. Research notes, for example, it shows you, why it's important to keep notes on. I suggest you use internet, Microsoft Word or Excel to organize, keep the record of all the findings that you get. All right, so here we're gonna use books and ebooks, and also it shows you how to find them. And then magazines and journals. And here's a library catalog. And then Google Books. By the way, Google, has been scanning a lot of books from the libraries and publishers and so on. They have millions of books scanned, so they're rare to find, or out of print books you might be able to find it from Google Books website. And okay, then how about Wikipedia? Sure, why not? And how to use the Boolean operators when you do the search, and what are they? That means, for example, and or that sort of kind of things. So these are very valuable instructions. So do utilize it. Okay, now let's go back to, let's say, all right, so here's another resource at Seattle Central Community College, and the librarians created this website for a particular program, and then, for example, this is for business. I believe it was a business 175. I'm not sure, but for example, they already found some good resources. These are paperback, and here's an Encyclopedia of American Industry, for example. This is a good resource. So if you are if your business plan is about creating some kind of business, yeah, this is one good place to start with, and it'll give you kind of a concise snapshot of that particular industry. And then finding books, and search for ebooks, and here's instruction on how to use library catalog for ebooks. And let me just go ahead and click on it. And this is fairly painless, and it's just a snapshot of what to do and easy to follow. Okay. Finding articles, how to search the different databases, and so on. So again, it's a lot of information. So I don't want you to spend a whole lot of time learning how to do this, use these tools, but at least I want you to be aware of certain things, certain key things. It is kind of fine balance. This is not a research class. This is not a business class. This is a computer class. So your key focus will be getting the basic concepts of these electronic tools and resources. And here's a business plan. You have books about business plans and resources, and so on. So if you find something that is applicable for your business plan, go ahead and dig in and use that. And then you may skip the rest as long as you fulfill the requirements of these 3 items, which are ebook, at least 1 ebook, and 1 article or periodical journal, and some kind of data. Okay, so as long as you get that, that's good enough. Okay, so let me go back to Seattle Central Community College Library website and do actual research, kind of a demonstration. All right, so let's do ebook search. So finding books and video and music, I click on ebooks. And then you have a few options here. You can go ahead and do the search on the college catalog, and it'll give both paper books, ebooks, and other medias like videos and so on. So let me just go ahead and do this. So let's say my business plan is about starting a coffee roast business. So I'll just go ahead and type coffee roaster business, and then click on search. And these are the keywords. You can search to let's say title, author, and subject, and so on. So I'm going to use a keyword to search. And there is nothing coming up because this is something called Boolean, like a AND exclusive search. So this is a little bit too narrow for the catalog to find specific ones. So I'm going to kind of widen it by removing kind of the word that will kind of narrow it down. So instead of a coffee roaster business, I can say coffee business. So coffee, whoops, I spelled incorrectly. That'll be the problem too. So coffee is a very broad term. Business is broader term, but roaster, the word roaster is narrow. So I remove one narrow keyword at a time, and I can kind of widen the. So I search with coffee business, and then it found 15 items. So the first one is an ebook collection. That's good. Seattle Community Colleges has an ebook collection of tribal knowledge. This is about business wisdom brew in the Starbucks. Okay, so that's interesting. You can go ahead and take a look at it. And so let's click on it. And here you go. So I need you to copy these items and paste it into Microsoft Word or any kind of a application that you use to keep track of your findings. And then that's the thing that you're going to have to submit it along with some kind of a summary. And then you can, let's see, request an item. And then you need to enter your ID and last name. So your 9-digit student ID number. And then last name. So I'm going to put my last name here. Log in. And it gives me the option to hold or recall and so on. So you notice that the tabs are a little bit different here. So you can place a hold and then go from there. So let me go back. So that's how you get the ebook from Seattle Central Community College library system. And also, if you want to, you can just check out some books. You can reserve it, so you can just pick it up or have it shipped to your campus branch. And here's a video and so on. So this is good. So this is the way you search. Let me just close it out. Close that. And then I'm going to close that too. Okay, so let me go back to the Seattle Central Library again and then click on the ebooks. And so this time, instead of using the general catalog, library catalog, I'm going to use something called eBree. It has over 20,000 titles. And let's see. Let me see. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and start eBree. And it's asking me to log in. So again, I'm going to put my last name and student ID number. Click on login. So here's this is another catalog for ebooks offered through Seattle Community College Library. And here's a demo. Go ahead and watch this video.
Welcome to eBree's training video. This session will cover how to use eBree's interface with QuickView.
So this is very helpful to learn about how to search this eLibrary catalog. So I'm going to just go ahead and search using the simple search here. So using the same term, coffee business. Let me do a little bit more specific. Let's say I'm going to remember one of the 3 items that I expect you from you is the some kind of data, collection of data, as you do ebook or electronic journals and articles. Find some kind of a data. So I'm going to just do two things. I'm going to find the data, and also I'm going to try to find the data. Also, I'm going to try to find some kind of article or journal. So that's why I put the key term data here. And then I'm going to click on search. So you may use, instead of use data, you can use statistics. There are different terminologies that you can use. Okay, so here I can even narrow it down because they found about 10,775 documents. That's way too much. So I can narrow it down by certain subjects. United States and new business enterprises. Yes, it's about coffee. Economic aspects. Yeah, sure, why not? No, that's a little bit too, I think that's could be a little bit too complicated. Okay, let me just go ahead and click on search button. And then it narrowed down to about 2,000 items. That's a little bit more reasonable. And then I can skim through it, and I hope this search engine is fairly good. As let's say Google, every business needs an angel capital funding, raising capital, brownie points. So your own bar or club, child care service. So it's not really. They have a tribal knowledge, lessons learned from working inside of Starbucks. So that's that. So that's something about. How about restaurant business? So let's go ahead and just click on this tribal knowledge. That seems a little bit more closer. All right, so here we go. So that's the first page of the ebook, and you can kind of navigate through. And also, if you want to, you can do the search within the document. Let's say statistics, and search the documents, and it narrows down so you can just go to that particular page and see what you can find, profit by products and so on. All right, so let's see. I'm not finding anything good. So again, I don't expect you to read this, but I want you to skim through it and find some, particular paragraph that is related to your business plan and so on. Or if you are lucky, you may find some kind of data. So that's how you use the one of the ebook library catalog. And you can sign in, keep track of your search and bookshelf, and you can reserve it and so on. So I'm going to sign out and then close this. So the next item would be I'm going to show you is using the database, library database. So let me go back to the library, Seattle Central Library, and then finding articles in databases. Okay, so research databases. And then you will probably want to choose, there are different databases, library databases, and probably you want to choose subject. So that's a business, career, and education. What are the choices here? Yeah, I'm going to go business, careers, and education. And then, so within that, we have 5 databases. And I use that ERIC often. Or if you just sign on Business Journal, so that'll be interesting because that's a little bit more local. I strongly recommend you to kind of explore this option, database. But now I'm going to just use ABI Trade and Industry database, and again I need to sign in as me. Okay, so basic concept, the same concept, keywords: coffee, business. And then you can choose different formation of search. So here's and, or you want to exclude. Let's say you don't want to deal with anything to do with Starbucks. You can type in the word Starbucks to narrow down your search, and so on. So you can kind of explore different options here. Author's name or publishers and dates of publication and that kind of thing, so you can narrow it down. And also you have more ways to narrow it down, because there are millions of articles in this database. So the more you kind of narrow it down, it's going to be easier. So the strategy will be you put more key terms, and then if you find something, that's good, and if you don't, then perhaps you want to even narrow it down more, or relax it by removing the keywords. So let me just go ahead and search. And then there are a bunch of, let's see, how many do we have? Well, about 1052 results. And then you can kind of skim through the titles and then click on it. And here's an abstract. So this is one other thing. Remember when you submit the discussion board items, I want to have some brief summary of that item that you are posting. So this is a good example. And full text, and there's some numbers here. I'm not sure if you can convert it into some kind of table. Probably depends. Okay. So that's one example. And let me come out. What about this one? How about this one? Both sticks to. Well, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, you can imagine, you can spend some time to explore different articles. And here, again, I don't expect you to read all the articles or so. Just skim through it, and if you find something, and then write down the key information, and that's it. Again, this is not real research. This is like a pseudo research to learn how to do the research using the electronic tools. Okay, so let's see. Sometimes finding data or data set could be challenging, because they could be buried somewhere inside a book or articles and so on. So you might need to use the internet, but not any website. For example, as I mentioned, anyone like me could create a website and put some less than credible data, and if somebody uses it, then that outcome is not going to be good. However, there are some websites that are reputable websites, such as some kind of associations or government agencies, perhaps some university, educational institution websites, and so on. So they have a little bit more control of the quality and the credibility of the contents they put up on their website. So they are more trustworthy, but nothing like something.com or that kind of a random website. And I would not recommend it. So my strategy here is, let's find some kind of association, industry association of some sort, and then I searched for coffee industry association, and then I found, let's say, National Coffee Association. Wow, that's reasonable, and it sounds legitimate and looks legitimate. And since it was top of the Google search, I assume that this is a well-regarded website. And then I would say search the website. I would say data. I'm looking for data. So click on search. And then, yeah, I'm getting something here. And let's say data on National Coffee Association of USA. Well, that sounds reasonable. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So a lot of fine prints, but you know, take your time, and then, but not a whole lot of time. Again, it's kind of fine balance, determining how fast you can determine whether something that you want to spend time on or not. So let me see. I'm going to just click on this results presentation. Sometimes you know, presentations have some data in it. Okay, so let me bring it down a little bit. So it looks like this is a PowerPoint presentation converted into a PDF. And so, yeah, it's a very nice presentation. Okay, there's some number here. Nationally represented sample of 2,000. Okay, well, that doesn't really help. So I'm looking for data. Oh, charts. That's good. This is good. And obviously, we don't have the raw data. We just have a chart, so we cannot really manipulate it. But if you want to, you can copy and paste this into your business plan. By the way, there's a kind of a fair use protection. As long as you use these data, or the chart in this case, for the educational purposes, it is okay to copy the content, let's say this chart, but you cannot, and you may not use this for your personal gain, like a business and so on, because that violates the copyrights law and protection. And so I see some numbers here. Daily penetration of coffee by age. That's an interesting title. So you can see the actual number, and you can put this into your Excel chart. So I can just let's see. I'm gonna put age 18 through 24. Was it 24? What was it? Okay. All right. So, and then that is 34, 41, 31, and 40. I'm not quite sure exactly what these numbers mean without studying this chart a little bit more carefully. Oh yeah, I see. That's the year, different years. 2008. So I can put 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011. And so here you go. So we have a chart, a table. Obviously, you can complete the table with the rest of the columns, and then here is your data. And then you can create a chart. Let's say line chart, a bar chart, just like they did. Here you go. So if your business plan is about targeting the age 18 to 24, this will be a good data to demonstrate some kind of trends. So that something happened in 2009. A lot of young people drink coffee. That's interesting because that was like the deep economic recession time, and it got worse and then got better. So anyway, so that's interesting. So this is kind of ways to play with to gain certain information that you need. Sometimes you need to the data that you look for may not come kind of nice way. It may come in like some kind of paragraph or sentence that you kind of translate it into Excel chart, Excel table that is. And then based on that, you can create charts, different charts, and so on. So that'll be also part of the final project. Okay, so I think this should do. I forgot to mention you. I think I should update this. One of the things that I need you to submit is the Excel file containing the data that you found. Okay, so that's it. So if you have any question, just feel free to email me and I'll assist you as much as I can. All right, thank you.